happening, people? This is Rohit here, and in this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about my craze for Italian songs and how it has helped in my mental health journey. This is definitely going to be a very interesting episode. I can feel it because this is not something that I talk about a lot, and I'm getting to video journal about it and talk about it in a podcast, so it's huge for me. And I always keep it as a fun fact that I listen to Italian songs, and this is something which is out of the ordinary, right? I'm right now in the US. When you talk to people, they'll say, oh, English songs or Afro beats or Spanish songs. And if you talk to Indians, they'll be like, okay, Indian songs, we have so many different genres here. But coming to my background in music, I love to explore music itself. I've listened to Indian music a lot. I still listen to them like 5 to 6 languages in Indian music. I've listened to them. After that, I started exploring K-pop. That was something which I found very interesting. But from 2021, I started having this craze for Italian songs. Specifically, it's Italian hip hop, and definitely now that I started therapy, like 1.5 2 years back, I can say that how therapy was happening on parallel and the Italian songs craze was happening in the parallel, and how it correlates in a way. So that's what this episode is going to be about. For me, yes, beats, all of that is fine. We can go about that in all of the episodes, but right now, to specifically discuss about mental health and what I see in Italian songs, that's what I'm going to discuss here. When you look at any Italian hip hop song, they'll talk about something which is not a primary emotion. So I have been a very emotionally avoidant person. For me, because of a lot of factors, but to discuss something in specific, it has to do with being actually, I'm not going to put down any person or any people around me, but growing up, I did not have anyone who actually talked about my feelings or asked me to open up about my feelings. This is something which is pretty common in Indian communities. If you had that, well and good, but this is just in my case. But around growing up in school, in college, or we did not have people to talk to about feelings, or someone, nobody asked. It's something which is kept away or hushed away kind of topic. But here I am seeing the lot of change. I am sure that I'll break that generational trauma cycle. All of that is fine. But then growing up, I realized that that was something missing. So when my therapist or someone is going to ask me how I'm feeling, I used to have that struggle of answering that. Now I can say that I've gone better at it, but I could not name emotions which is more than like five emotions. If you ask me, happy, sad, yeah, that's all. I had so much of difficulty in accepting different emotions. And if you ask me to, when you Google emotional wheel, you'll have primary emotions, you'll have secondary emotions, you'll have the tertiary. You have different levels in emotions. Happiness is a primary emotion. Excitement, joy, bliss, that's a secondary emotions of happiness, right? So in that way, you have a lot of different emotions, and I was pretty bad at it. And I also realized that I've been very emotionally avoidant person, and that's something which stems from a lot of different things. I've been a very black and white kind of thinking person. I could not think in the gray area. This is mostly a me thing. This has nothing to do with other people or other Indians. But growing up, I realized that the feelings part was not there. So how will a person actually learn when that person has not talked about his or her feelings, right? So when someone asks me about happy of how I am feeling, it's mostly happy. For me, optimism is a next level optimism. I've always been that person. Now also I'm like that, but I also been more grounded and realistic these days. But coming to hip hop, of what I noticed in Italian hip hop, they usually don't stick to just the primary emotion songs. We can argue and say, oh, yeah, other music, other genres also discuss that. Yeah, they kind of do it, but it's always usually one emotion. You don't find songs which discuss very specific kind of emotions, very different kind of emotions. When you look at Italian hip hop, the right now I found 2 songs which are in my playlist. I just added them few days back. It's about like having that bliss, having the joy, having that craze for discussing the anxiety. How many songs do you have in different genres, or whichever one you listen to, which discuss anxiety, discusses loneliness, discusses frustration, to grow, to explore, to have that open. This is like very not so primary, like secondary emotions, which I don't see in other kind of songs. Like when I listen to K-pop, I was in the K-pop craze, right? When they had their songs, if a song was about love, it was only about love. There was no tertiary emotions. There was no like secondary emotions surrounding love. It was always in a rose gold kind of thing. Even in Indian music, of what I have noticed, I might be wrong, it's always in rose gold perspective. If it's happiness, it's fully happiness. Sadness, fully about sadness. It's like specific kind of emotions, mainly primary, sometimes secondary, all of that. But when I noticed what I noticed in Italian songs is the kind of tertiary and the secondary emotions that they dwell on and build on that topic. I'm like, that's a song that's just amazing. I'll discover one song. It's called Fragili. It's by Iltre. amazing songs. It discusses about how emotions were just fragile, how that connections are fragile. Like, wow, what a song about our relationships. Everything just amazing song. This is just not Tilo Prometo is like discussing the different kind of that emotions. That's when I started realizing how bad I was at describing emotions. Now if you ask me, I can describe so many emotions. Just pause this and ask yourself if you can name more than 20 emotions. There's so many emotions. Ask yourself if you can name more than 20 emotions. Like right now, if you ask me like 2-3 years before, I would be struggling at this, but now I can say that I've gotten so much better at it. I've been able to name it. Earlier also, there's so much change in like primary emotions, delving into it. Earlier, if like one semester, like 8 to 9 months back, if you told me what is anxiety or explain anxiety, I would be like, huh? And anxiety does not exist. It does not exist for me. It's the wrong emotion. Now I got comfortable at actually accepting the fact that anxiety is good. Anxiety is needed. Jealousy is good. Jealousy is needed because it shows that there's something which, see, let's talk about jealousy. What does jealousy actually reply in your life? See, being jealous is actually a good sign according to me. But acting on the jealousy is what is bad, right? But what does being jealous actually mean? It means that you want something which you see in other person's life. That's something to fight for. That's what each emotion has a purpose. Each emotion is saying what you're missing out. Each emotion is explaining to you what is needed. That's what you're reflecting. That's what you're journaling upon. That's where and why you should be with your own thoughts and feelings. And that's what I'm like, that's something which I'm finding through Italian songs. So we talk about songs which takes you to a different world and all of that. For me, I'm like, Italian songs has making me explore my life and my thoughts and feelings. That what are the genres helping me do that. I've listened to so many different genres till now. English I've listened to, Spanish, Korean, Indian. I'm like, that's something I'm actually finding through Italian songs, and that's how it's helping me. I'm like, wow, those are emotions. Like, delving so much into emotions. Just search for any Italian hip hop songs. I can give recommendations. The Il Tre songs are good. Capo Plaza, IC Sub Zero. What kind of songs? Amazing songs. Those secondary emotions. Formentera by Neza, talking about the dreamland of what kind of thing. See, this podcast is definitely into two. It's about my craze for Italian songs as well as how it has helped me in mental health. But even when you talk about mental health, you're talking about how you want to progress to the next level, right? And that's what I'm seeing in Italian songs. I'm like, having the dreamland that you want to go to, transcending that joy that you really want in life, and that's what they are all talking about. I'm like, that's something to fight for. That's something I'm getting better at, actually helping me in understanding my emotions, processing my emotions, reflecting on my emotions. And that's something which I feel is really important for every single one of us. And I get to do it through Italian songs. I'm like, amazing, going through healthy feelings, healthy choices, healthy thoughts. And I am generally very blessed to have discovered this genre of songs, and I'm continuing to do it. I'm like going through so many different songs. It's not even that I know the language. I look at the songs, it's first the beats, and then when I look at the meaning of songs, I'm like, whoa, this is like another level. These songs are transcending to another level. I'm like, amazing. I'm just, wow, I'm grateful that I've discovered this genre, and definitely it's been helping me a lot. And just amazing. I can notice how much change I've been through in the last few months of consciously listening to Italian songs just for my mental health. I'm like, wow, this song is just amazing. How fragile life is, how fragile emotions are, how it keeps fluctuating. You try to force yourself sometimes, which is not the right thing to do, which is not the healthy thing to do. I'm like, I'm getting to learn a lot of these things and get to talk about it right now. I don't think I'll be talking about emotions or feelings. My first podcast episode was on that. I don't think that would have been possible without me listening to Italian songs at all. But I'm just grateful and just amazing. You should definitely check it out. Just have an open mind. That's how I decided to try and check it out. I just ran through it. I'm like, wow, just amazing. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.